And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. It seems like the freedom of being able to talk about your relationship with people is dying down. More young adults are wanting the folk they are hoping to date to sign non-disclosure agreements, an NDA, before even dating. And joining us on The Factor Uncensored tonight, we have with us Dr. D. Yvonne Young, and he's here to talk about the craziness in the dating world. People are doing it, requiring individuals to sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. So first of all, for those who are not familiar with NDAs, number one, what is it, and is it legally binding?
Well, the first thing is, if you could imagine someone saying, I want you to put your signature on something. In other words, I'm not going to take you at your word. I'm going to make sure that I have a document where I have some recourse. So in the event that you betray my trust, I got you, right? The truth is, if you have to go this far in a relationship, you're in a situationship. You're not in a relationship. The concern that I would have for if you were my client, like I specialize in.
But first, doctor, let's establish what people are doing out there.
Yeah, well, here's what they're doing, man. You're going into a relationship, and there are certain attributes that you don't want other people to share in the event this relationship goes sour. Now, and during the relationship, this person may actually be cool with whatever. They may be your collaborator. But what they're doing with this document is coming back to the table and saying, look, I don't want you to talk about what we did or what it is that I like to do. And see, one of the things that with these NDAs, they can be unilateral or bilateral, meaning that I can have you sign an NDA, but it doesn't mean I'm going to sign it, right? And what we have to ask ourselves is, what the hell is going on with us? Where we see these yellow flags with people, and we ignore the yellow flag and decide to move forward. And this isn't just in marriage. This can apply in dating, let alone something more significant. But if you're at a place where you're talking about cohabitation, marriage, or, you know, having a family with somebody, I would probably tell you, if you have to get an NDA, that's probably not the right fit.
Interesting, huh? Stay with us. We continue this conversation after the break. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We continue our conversation with sex and relationship expert Dr. D. Yvonne Young about having non-disclosure agreements while dating. But the ridiculousness of it is now people, even when they meet someone on an app before they go out, some are saying you need to sign this NDA, which is crazy. Now, my question is, if someone signs it, is it legally binding in court? If they take you to court and say, look, they broke this NDA agreement that they signed, will a judge, will a court take it seriously?
Well, I'm going to say this first. I'm not going to try to practice law without a license. So the first thing that I'm going to say is that that document is only as valid as the legal team that created that document for you. And it's only as enforceable as the laws wherever you are may allow it to be enforced. But here's what I'm going to say to you. If you're a public figure, you're a high net worth individual or a licensed professional, if you have to go to this extreme in order to have companionship, you either got some kind of little freaky stuff, a fetish or whatever it is that gets you off, that you may want to revisit. Or the other side of it is, once the assertions are out there, the allegations are out there, if they leak some pictures or some video, you can't unstrike that match. So even if you do sue them, even if the court upholds that they violated the NDA, the damage done to your brand and to your reputation may be something that you can't walk back.
Now, what about any financial gain that you may get if the court awards you something?
Well, let's think about it like this. You're a public figure. You are one all over America. When I'm in other cities, people, you know Isaiah Carey, right? Well, let's just stop and think about it. How much is the effort and the culture work that you put in establishing Isaiah Carey and the Isaiah Factor as a brand on Fox Soul and local Fox Houston? For what amount of money is going to make you whole. If your name, which your brand is your name, has been put in such a precarious position, you are much more subject to peril than you are to profit.
Got it. Got it. Now, if someone, and I know what your line of thinking is, and I know what you will say, but if someone approaches you, and this is for the audience, with an NDA, how would you best handle that? And you're like, this is not even worth it.
I'm glad you said this is for the audience, because if you say they approach me, I'll tell you, get your ass away. But making it real simple. If you're dealing in situations, something like that is present, I'm not saying you go to a celebrity party or there's a trip and everybody's going to be on a yacht, and before you get on this yacht, because of who's on the yacht, you need to sign this NDA. Those things make some sense. But when we start talking about a relationship and we start talking about building trust and exposing things that are our blind spots or our fetishes or things that we just really don't want talked about, it's a good idea to use common sense with foresight than to have a lot of regret due to hindsight.
Got it. Dr. D. Yvonne Young, and congratulations on your award recently. You want to tell the viewers about that?
Well, I'll just say it like this. I'm trying to hang out with you, Isaiah, but it's always nice when we can receive recognition for our efforts and the work we put in. And I thank NY Magazine for naming me one of the top life coaches in America. And you're only as good as your last client, though. It was a nice accolade to get, and I'm very much so humbled and grateful to receive it.
Check it out in NY Magazine. Dr. D. Yvonne Young, thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Always good to see you, sir.
You too, my friend.